I'm Brett, and I'm here because I have a sense of purpose, and my intention is to inspire you. How will I accomplish this? Well, in my life, it's by living it. Simply, it's by living. I know we're not supposed to bring in sustainability, but that is a core belief of mine. So it's by living a sustainable lifestyle. So I walk my talk, and I'm hoping to show you that. I create opportunities through advocacy like this in very uncomfortable ways to get myself out there, to have a voice, and by designing and building. At my core, I'm driven by quality of life. When it comes down to it, this issue of affordability, to me, is about quality of life. Mostly valuing myself and others, and by sharing my experiences and times together. So I'll try to be short and sweet. And if you want to talk to me more about some stuff later, that would be great. In 2014, as all great stories begin, in a tavern not so far away in the Pacific Northwest, there were two disgruntled, dissatisfied design build professionals. And so we're thinking about the system and how it's broken and how we wanted to fix it. So what does one do when they're faced with such complex challenges? We ordered another beer, we ripped open the pizza box, we grabbed a black marker, and we started to brainstorm. So from this brainstorm, we came up with some solutions, and this is one of them. To realize our work, we fast forward, this is 2016, the tiny movement, that tiny house movement, which I'm sure you've all been aware of for some time now. We thought, well, this is a great place to cut our teeth on compact, small design. So we started here, and we took out our pizza box strategies, and we did 2 years of research and tours and workshops before we really bit off our own project, design build. This is actually the house I live in now. We toured it for over a year. There were thousands of people who went through it in different places in Washington. And it was great to see them go from that HGTV mentality to into the space and saying, wow, I could actually live like this. So this is 24 feet by 8.5. It's a little under 200 square feet. It houses, this is the situation. My girls are back there. I told them I was going to tell the messy truth, and this is the messy truth. So we love it. We've lived there for 2.5 years, and I can say that size does matter. Less stuff, less cost, less time maintaining, less wasted time. So what does it take to live differently than the mainstream? Because when you're talking about affordability, you kind of have to open your mind to other ways of living. Well, personally for me, it was that the mainstream, what we call the big house now, that we don't live in, became really disingenuous to me on a personal level, and I felt that I was kind of living a lie. It was incongruent to my values. And so that really helped us because I was so uncomfortable in the big house that we had to move into the tiny house. So yeah, that's Jack's, by the way. So this is our life now. We have lots of time to paddle and walk and hike and bike, and my girls definitely torture each other in 200 square feet, including myself. But what it taught me personally is that I could take those leaps and those risks, and I could bring my overhead down, because it's just, you spend so much mental capacity trying to afford how to live. And I guess I'm the missing middle. I mean, I don't know, I'm sure there's more than me out there that's the missing middle. So for me, it became a resource for me to take those risks in business. And so now that I could afford that risk, we started getting into what we're really passionate about is urban infill and the DADUs, or I call them DADUs, I don't know if that's wrong to say, and the ADUs. And how do we attract that clientele, and how do we really do what we're passionate about doing, which is compact design. So this is a City of Tacoma pilot program. We got one of the 3 coveted spots for a DADU, and we've asked ourselves, well, how do we wind up getting that? Well, we wound up getting it for a couple of reasons. One is we believe in accessibility, so it was universal design, aging in place, BuiltGreen project, living up to green building standards, but mostly it's probably location. It's in central Tacoma, it's next to a bus line, it's next to a designated bike lane, there's shopping, there's hospitals, there's, you name it. I mean, you're right there, you can walk everywhere. The clients were great. They're eager, they're innovative, and you know, when you're a pioneer in something, you're spending more money than you really want to showcase something, and they put their money behind what they wanted to do. And this project just got verified as BuiltGreen 5-star, which is pretty awesome. So inside you can see it has, the outside mimicked the main house. That was the main decision on how that house looked so that it fit into the neighborhood. The inside is fully accessible, zero threshold, all healthy materials. It's a wonderful little space. It's only about 500 square feet. And it's studio type. On the right side, there's a Murphy bed that comes out. All the counters were lowered. Everything's ADA accessible in there. So, okay. So as we're wishing and hoping and doing this project, we encountered the BuiltGreen process, right? We had never been through BuiltGreen. And I just wanted to stand up here and say that we loved it. And we think that, and we know certifying can be costly. We feel that BuiltGreen was worth every penny. And I'll tell you what, it helped us shape the project as far as scope, as far as selections go. It also taught us some other processes, like even how to run the job site. It became important for no idling from any of the vehicles, no smoking from any of the contractors. Really having, I don't know if you dealt with subcontractors, but sometimes you feel like you have to parent them. They had to take a clean up after themselves, no waste. So it really helped define and bring our practice, design build practice, to the next level. And they walked us through meeting our energy goals, and we surpassed them. So I think if you're thinking about doing a project, I would certainly consider BuiltGreen. It's a fraction of the cost of what you'll get out of it. And I don't think we have a BuiltGreen person here in Tacoma, so maybe with some more interest, we can get someone here who's running the program. Okay, so this project is another pilot program project that we're working on. It will go into construction next year. It's part of the Cottage housing, urban infill. And it takes 2 existing lots owned by the same brother and sister combo with 2 really bad shape houses that nothing worth saving whatsoever. And it turns it into a little niche community. So all the houses face each other. Their porches actually face each other, and they have shared amenities like the rain garden, the barbecue area, the bike shed. And I don't know, I think it's gonna be pretty cool. We're really excited about it. This is in South Tacoma, and I'm sure there'll be a tour of that. Maybe we could talk about that at the sustainability one. We are really feeling blessed to be part of City Tacoma, and we think Tacoma is really progressive because we work with other places and they're not so much. So I think that we really take advantage of all these fine city people that are here. So call to action is my last thing. The start of the conversation was, what does accessible, affordable housing look like? Well, to me, it looks like a collaboration. There's not one solution. That you heard many different ones, and I think where we're really failing is the collaboration part. Because if you had all these great minds together and all of these resources together, we could really make great change. So you already heard it. We didn't hear collective responsibility, which is really important, but we did hear diversity of small footprint housing types, diversity of builders and developers for sure. And we did hear about living wages, locally skilled workers, regional sourcing and manufacturing. I'm so behind that. That's awesome. And an industry built around small solutions. Obviously, there's not one big one. So I'm hoping that we can talk more about collaboration. So catch me later and let's talk.